Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am your e-recruiter here at UC Merced. I am so thrilled that you could join us today for this lunchtime online event. So today, as you see on your screen, we will be talking about how to search for employment opportunities and take the next steps in your career development here at UC Merced. As I said, we're also thrilled that you could join us today. Before we get started, let me give you a couple of quick hints. If you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower portion of your screen by clicking the audio settings button. If you would like to adjust the size of your window, go ahead and click on View Options in the upper portion of your screen today. Lastly, and most importantly, we're definitely here to get to your questions. You'll see a Q&A button on your screen. We are asking, though, that today, if you can hold on to your questions and really pay close attention to our presentation today, we will get to those questions towards the end during a live question and answer session. However, during this presentation, we have a fantastic demo to show you, so we definitely want you to keep your eyes peeled for that and not miss out on any of that great information. So keep your questions. We promise to get to those, but definitely keep an eye out for that demo. Once again, my name is Ricky Hill. We're so thrilled that you could join us today. At this time, I'd like to hand things over to my colleague, Lizbeth.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Lizbeth Lupi. I am the Employee Relations Manager with our Center for Career and Professional Advancement, also known as CCPA. And today I have Michelle Snyder joining from the Student Employment Services. Michelle, if you'd like to briefly introduce yourself before we get started with the presentation.
Sure. Thanks, Lizbeth. My name is Michelle Snyder. I'm the Director for Payroll Services and Student Employment Services for UC Merced.
Thank you, Michelle. And today we are going to be talking about Handshake. Handshake is your centralized platform to look for on-campus jobs, off-campus jobs, internship opportunities, full-time employment, and also utilized for student employment services and CCPA services to get to know a little bit more about your career development and your career exploration. Handshake is the #1 way college students utilize to find jobs. I want you to think of Handshake like a mix of LinkedIn or Indeed for you to find and search for all of these job opportunities and connect with employers. So why you should utilize Handshake? You can utilize Handshake to get hired. So again, you can look and discover for full-time jobs after you graduate, internship opportunities for while you are an undergraduate student. You can look for off-campus part-time positions or on-campus employment as well. You can also get discovered by employers, whether it be on-campus employers or external recruiters can message you based on your profile, your interests, your experiences, can send you a message letting you know, hey, we have this upcoming role. We think you'd be a great fit. Set up an appointment to speak with us or encouraging you to apply. If you're in those beginning stages of learning about companies, thinking about what career path should I take, you can get connected. You can follow companies and employers to learn a little bit more about their opportunities. You can see if they're hiring for any positions or if they're also hosting any events. And then as well, you can get expert help from your career specialist or from the Student Employment Services Department as well. So if you haven't already, and we're going to be doing a demo as well, if you scan the QR code, you are able to download the Handshake app. If you have not downloaded Handshake yet, and this is going to be your first time utilizing, make sure that you include your UC Merced credentials, and it will ask you to verify your email as well. The next step that you want to do is personalize your account, adding any job experiences that you have, maybe some courses that you've taken. If you're looking to apply to jobs, you can upload your resume on there as well to make it public to employers to look at who may be looking for opportunities or for those additional hiring managers. In the later portion of the presentation, we are going to be doing a demo on the web browser version of it, but everything that you see on the web versus the app will be the same. So we are going to talk a little bit more about additional services aside from looking for job opportunities that the CCPA and SES offers to you. So aside from looking at the Handshake platform for jobs, you can also create appointments with your career specialist to go over any career assessments. These can be for you to learn a little bit more about occupations and the skill sets that are available through that. That's through our ONET profiler assessment. You can do a skill scan assessment or a strengths finder assessment to learn a little bit more about your skills, how you can incorporate that and highlight it in your resume, in your cover letter, or even in the interview process. Career advising. This is going to be the central hub for you to have access to your specific career specialist. We have 3 specialists in our office, specialists for our School of Engineering, for School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, and then as well for School of Natural Sciences. In addition, we do have an employer relations and internships coordinator who meets with all students who are looking for internship opportunities. And then as well, this professional meets with any students who are interested in business fields. You can meet with us to go over your resume, your cover letter, learn about experiential learning programs that we have, such as Forage, that are virtual work experiences where you can learn a little bit more about what it is like to work for that specific company and what type of projects you'll be doing. Another experiential learning program and platform that we have is called Parker Dewey, where you can learn about micro internship opportunities, which are shorter experiences as well, not a long-term internship opportunity. Other services that you can utilize is interview preparation. You can, if you are getting ready for that interview, and want a little bit of practice or feedback, you can definitely set up an appointment with our career specialist to receive that feedback, or you can also utilize our Standout platform that is a virtual interview practice platform where you have a specific set of questions. You can record yourself, listen to yourself, receive feedback, and then as well share that practice interview with our career specialist to receive direct feedback on how you did. Additionally, through Handshake, you can look at different events that our Career Center is hosting, such as information sessions or webinars that are in collaboration with our employer partners or directly hosted by our career specialist. We'll get into all those details once we go and show you the platform. Michelle, would you like to talk about SES services?
Sure, thanks, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth covered a little bit of what CCPA does, what they offer for the campus. CCPA and Student Employment Services, while we are different departments on campus, we offer integrated and partnered services to our students. So the portion that Student Employment Services handles is for those students looking for on-campus employment. So those positions are specific to working in a department like dining or transportation services, or even within a school or some type of success center or something on campus. They're employed by the University of California, paid for through the University of California. And that includes federal work study positions or state work study positions that a student might have. So while we are slightly different departments, we do utilize that same platform, Handshake, to post student positions. Students will go look for on-campus opportunities in the same platform. Once they've obtained a position and received the information regarding obtaining that position, they'll then need to move to the intake process, which is the series of completing, it's a process of completing a series of hiring documents, both specific to UC Merced and to our state and federal requirements regarding employment. And students will schedule appointments with our office. We'll help facilitate going through that process and getting the record set up so that the student can start working. We help facilitate that in person and remotely when possible. Our students will then get clear to work notices and be able to start working. On our campus, we currently have Student Employment Services is integrated with payroll services. So we're able to offer a much faster facilitation of establishing payroll records and also being able to answer questions that you might have regarding the payroll process. And of course, once we go through that process, and the next steps are making sure that you can get to work and then ultimately get paid. We'll provide a little bit more information on that as we go through, but those are the services that student employment currently offers. Elizabeth, did you want to walk through the next process?
Yes, thank you. So on your phone, if you have downloaded Handshake, you'll be able to see on the bottom this specific menu. For you, that one will have job recommendations for you based on the interests, experiences, your majors that you have provided on your profile. This events tab, which you'll see the screenshot right here, will show you all of the upcoming events that the university is hosting, and then as well that employers are hosting. In the web version, you'll see the new update here that will help you differentiate between external events that are hosted by companies that are connected with our campus. And these are multi-campus events, so there are going to be various students from other universities attending these events. Then you'll also see UC Merced specific events, and these are events that the career specialists are hosting or that our employee relations team is collaborating with a specific company. So for example, this Google resume workshop is an example of a program that our office hosted in collaboration with Google. You will also see all of the different career fairs that we will be hosting on campus, whether it be general, career and internship fairs, or graduate school fairs as well. The next tab you'll see on the bottom is the jobs interface. This is the next screenshot that you'll see is a little bit of what will pop up. You have different filters that you can sort through, whether it be through location. If you're looking for an internship opportunity back home during the summer, you can type in your home state or your home city. You can look for full-time jobs, part-time jobs, industry, if you're looking at specific employers, on-campus jobs specifically, which Michelle will talk about in a bit on how to filter that as well. If you do have federal work study as well, it'll be indicated on your profile and you'll be able to see that specific site. Under school, and Michelle will show a couple of screenshots with that, that's where you'll be able to create the appointments with our with each respective department and see additional resources as well. And the U that you'll see on the bottom, that's where you'll see your specific profile as you created and what you'd like to share with employer partners. So Michelle, would you like to talk about on-campus employment?
Great, thanks, Elizabeth. So one of the great things that Handshake offers is the ability for any student to go in and create their resume, to create cover letters, to upload additional documents that many employers may ask for, external and internal. So for on-campus employment, oftentimes employers will ask for your schedule or your course list so that they can see, or perhaps your transcripts, or some other type of information, perhaps certification or something like that, that they're asking you to include when you apply. That may apply to external employers also. But what's really great is when you upload all of that information, the job will display one of two options. It will display an apply option, or it will display a quick apply. There's some really great automatic tools built into Handshake that if you already have all of the required documents to apply to a position, it will let you quick apply. And I apologize, I skipped over a little bit, so let me back up just a tad. At UC Merced, on-campus employers, we try to create a distinct naming convention for students to understand that they're applying to an on-campus job versus an off-campus job. And we classify those under that title, that filter of on-campus jobs. But we also have established that UC Merced and then the name of the department will identify that it's an on-campus job. You can filter looking for on-campus jobs by using those filters that Elizabeth mentioned across the top. We offer additional, or Handshake offers additional filters if you are a student who's receiving federal work study funds. Elizabeth mentioned that you can filter to only see jobs that have been indicated for federal work study. One thing to note is that within your profile, federal work study eligibility is automatically uploaded. It's not something that you need to do, so that will automatically go into your account within Handshake. That information is updated regularly. So if your status changes or updates, we will update that information for you. And so you can filter for those jobs. Please note that if you are a federal work study recipient and you're looking only for federal work study jobs, you can filter to see that. However, you can apply for any on-campus job. You do not have to only apply to federal work study jobs if you have federal work study available to you. So even though you may see the position posted more than once with the little federal work study indicator next to it, you can apply to any job on campus with or without federal work study. Thank you, Elizabeth. Student Employment Services offers a step-by-step tutorial on how to go through that process. It's located on our student employment at ucmerced.edu website. We very much recommend that you visit that site because we try to post helpful information, but also, again, it includes a student applicant job aid that helps you navigate searching for jobs for on-campus employment. The Handshake platform offers the opportunity for our students to schedule appointments directly through the system. You can schedule an appointment with CCPA to go through the many services or utilize the many services that Lisbeth went through earlier in her presentation, as well as scheduling your intake appointment with Student Employment Services. When you navigate to the Career Center, you'll see the appointments option. You can then choose a category. Those categories are defined below and indicate which department you'll be contacting by selecting one of those. Once you've selected Student Employment Services, this is for strictly the onboarding process. So once you've successfully interviewed and received an offer of employment, your hiring manager will submit information to Student Employment Services. It will trigger an email to you as a student that gives you next steps and information regarding your appointment. This is just specifically covering the student employment piece. You will go to the system, you will select Student Employment Services. You're going to select an available appointment date that is on or before your expected start date. It's very important to understand that you cannot start performing services for the university until you have completed all the required hiring documents. Part of that process is verifying your eligibility to work in the United States, which does require that you bring original unexpired documents to your appointment. Within that notification email that I indicated a minute ago, there will be a link to the acceptable documents that you can bring. And so we very much stress that we understand that especially new students, they may not have that information when they come to campus. If you are going to be looking at obtaining a job internally on campus, you're going to need that information, original documents. And I do understand there's some sensitivity around sometimes parents being concerned about giving that information, such as a social security card or an original birth certificate. However, we're unable to accept copies. That can very much delay a student's ability to get processed into the system and be able to start working. Students cannot start working until they receive a clear to work notice from Student Employment Services office. We try to facilitate that as quickly as possible after someone does their hiring paperwork. But of course, not having that original documentation may create some delays and issues. So we really can't stress that enough. I want to note an important reminder here that students during the academic year cannot work more than 18 hours per week for all jobs. Students can hold up to 2 positions at any time unless you are holding an RA position. An RA position on campus is a resident assistance in our housing, and that if you hold that position, you can only hold the 1 position. It is considered the maximum of 18 hours per week. Students may work up to 40 hours during breaks, such as spring break, winter break, and our summer break period. If there are any questions that a student has, we have availability for contact via our student employment website. Again, student employment at ucmerced.edu. We're happy to answer any questions regarding the intake process, appointments. If a student needed to cancel or revise an appointment, they would go through this process to do that.
Thank you, Michelle. And then one thing to note about your specific Handshake account, Career Services has created, you'll be able to see three main categories. One, you'll be able to see, on this one, you'll see undeclared, but if that is if you are an undeclared student. If you are a declared student, you'll see your specific school. So School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Arts, School of Natural Sciences, and School of Engineering. And the reason for that is so then you can meet with your specific career specialist so we can be sure to advise you with the best knowledge that we can share. You'll also see the pre-med or pre-health category. If you are interested in pursuing a career in pre-med or pre-health, but not necessarily have the traditional majors for those career paths, we still want to offer you the opportunity to speak with our career specialist that specializes and creates events for any student who is interested in the pre-med and pre-health process. If you have general employment search inquiries, how to start this search, I'm looking for this internship, how do I prepare for that, you can select the employment search inquiries, and that one would be to meet specifically with our employer relations and internships coordinator. So I just want to make sure that you may not see directly undeclared or in this order, and then all students will always see the student employment services for that on-campus onboarding process that Michelle just shared.
Thanks for that clarification, Lisbeth. So we are happy to be able to be providing an on-campus job fair for on-campus recruitment opportunities on Tuesday, August 30th. It'll be in our California room from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be connecting on-campus employers who are looking to recruit students for their on-campus positions. We invite all students to attend. We will pay, student employment services will be there, payroll services will be there to help answer any questions. CCPA will be there to help answer any questions, provide support. If there's anything that's needed, even if you currently have a job or know someone who has a job, you're more than welcome to advise them to go there. And yeah, we're very much looking forward to that opportunity to connect our students and our employers.
Exactly, we're looking forward to that.
Very excited.
If you are wanting to learn a little bit more about the different companies that come and visit UC Merced and the different resources and programming that CCPA hosts, make sure that you follow us on social media to learn a lot more about the different services and programs as well that we offer. At this time, I know that I'm going to, thank you for attending. I'm going to transition into sharing the Handshake platform. So if you want to follow along, make sure that you go to ucmerced.joinhandshake.com and it'll bring you to this direct site. Every student already has their account pre-uploaded into the system utilizing your UC Merced credentials. So to log in, make sure that you select UC Merced single sign-on. Right now it has that there because I am already logged into the platform on another window, which you'll see here, but you'll be able to enter your UC Merced credentials. As I mentioned, if it is the first time that you are claiming your account, please be sure to verify your account via your UC Merced email. If at any point you are having any issues accessing your Handshake account, you can contact the Career Center at careercenter@ucmerced.edu, and then we are able to assist you there. The main tabs that you'll see here are going to be jobs, events, employers, your specific inbox, Career Center, and this icon right here will be for you to see your profile. You'll be able to see the list of jobs that you have applied for, any interviews that you may have scheduled with an employer, your documents. So Michelle was talking about uploading your cover letter or resume, your class schedule, anything that you can add to make it easier for you if you're applying to multiple jobs and have access to that, you'll be able to see it under your specific documents as well. So under jobs, you'll be able to see and search for all of the jobs. Right now, you can see that there's about 12,000 jobs that are posted currently on Handshake. And this is a mix of both the on-campus jobs and the off-campus or full-time jobs, part-time jobs, or internships. It'll show you the job opportunities by your specific, by relevance, again, by what you complete on your specific profile. You'll be able to scroll through the sidebar here to look at specific positions. Say you are interested in the fire and building safety intern. You read through it, but you're not fully ready to apply for the program. You want to, or for the position, but you want to make sure that you save it. You can click this little banner here to save it, and then under saved, you'll be able to see all of the jobs that you are expressing interest. You're going to get all of your resumes, cover letters, and documents ready and facilitated. So then that way you can go back, look at your saved list, and directly apply to those positions, either through that apply button or the quick apply button that Michelle was sharing. Again, these are all of the filters that you can search for, whether it be, so we can look for right now the on-campus jobs. You can look at to see if they are work study, any specific roles that you might be looking into. Right now, my profile is under a mechanical engineer, which is why these are the first ones that come up here. But say you're looking for a social media role. So that one isn't here, so they might not have that currently, or departments hosting for that. You can look for specific departments as well. So right now it's suggesting maybe I'm interested in a position with the Office of Information and Technology, or UC Merced Recreation and Athletics, UC Merced Student Affairs. You can click that specific position. So on the left-hand bar, you'll see that the back end of Handshake is updating all of that information. So once you've selected your filters, you can do show results, and it showed based on the interest that I expressed. There's 2 positions available currently right now. If you don't want to have those filters on and you just want to look at specific, what are all the on-campus jobs, it'll show you that there's 68 positions currently posted on the site of departments hiring students. Events. So if you're looking at what kind of events, I'm interested in learning a little bit more about a specific company, what they're about, what type of positions are available to me. You can look at events. You'll see right here, you'll have the categories, all events, employer specific events. So these are companies that are connected with the career services platform that are interested in recruiting and hiring UC Merced students. So as you can see, you have companies from City Year, the Walt Disney Company, Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, that they're hosting general information sessions. If you're looking for a specific internship program with Disney, you'll see all the specific events as well. You'll also see if some of these specific companies are going to be attending any of the career and internship fairs that the university is hosting. If you want to see any specific UC Merced hosted events, right now you'll see that UC Merced is going to be hosting a professional development series that talks about resume reviews, how to land that internship, networking opportunities. You'll be able to look at that. Again, you can quickly save the event to have, maybe you're expressing interest. You still have to check your schedule to see if you're available to attend and double check. You can use that save button. And if you are highly interested in attending this specific event, you can click register and it'll save the event ready for you to join virtually, or send you a reminder your event is up and coming. Here's the location, how you can check in, and so on. You can go back to all events and again, see your specific saved events or any of the events that you are registered for. Under the employers tab, This is where you can find specific organizations that you want to connect with. We have several companies that we, over 700,000 that we are connected with on Handshake that you can learn a lot more. So for example, one of the companies that comes to campus is Tektronic Industries. I want to learn a little bit more. So for example, say that you saw them on campus, you want to learn a little bit more about how you can engage with them. You can actually follow the specific organization to, again, keep up to date with what type of interactions that they're doing, or if they're posting on Handshake as well. You'll be able to learn about their general overview. Right here, they have images and a video of what current employees are doing with them. You can see more here to learn more about their general description. You can see actually which students have worked there. Maybe you can see what type of opportunities that they had, or internship experiences, work experience, to see maybe you can find a job that relates to that to closely match and land a job with TTI as well. The company can also provide any general tips for you. And here you can see if they're coming to campus to host any upcoming events. You can see that they are participating in our upcoming career fair. You can also see jobs at TTI. So if you click on see all, you'll be able to see the current job opportunities that they are hiring for specifically. So again, this is not limited to just the external employers. You can also see UC Merced specific companies. So as Michelle mentioned, you have UC Merced Dash, and you'll be able to see all of the different currently departments that are in the system that have hired students or are currently hiring. So for example, UC Merced Dining Services, you can learn more about the specific department, their website, who to contact, whether it be a phone number or an email address, students that are currently working there as well. And again, any jobs that they may be hiring for specifically. Lastly, I want to show you to this Career Center tab, because this one will be essential for both your career exploration and then for creating those appointments with the Student Employment Services Center. So under the Appointments tab, this is where you'll be able to create and schedule a new appointment. If you have already an appointment scheduled, it'll be under your upcoming appointments. If you have scheduled previous appointments, it'll show in your past appointment section. So to schedule an appointment, you'll select, so these are the categories that we talked about, your specific school. So like I said on my profile, I am engineering. Here you'll be able to see the different categories that you can talk to with a career specialist. You can do strengths coaching. So this is for one of the career assessments that we talk about, the Strengths Finder, to learn about what your top 5 strengths are and how, again, you can incorporate that within your cover letter, within your resume, talking about those key strengths during the interview process. Any other general career assessments, you'll be able to click here and speak with the specialist. If you want to have just a general career conversation, I'm a mechanical engineering major just starting out. I want to learn about what different opportunities are available for me. If there are any specific specializations, what can I do now as a first-year student to fully prepare and engage myself in that career readiness, so then by the time that I graduate, I'm able to land that full-time job that I want. Sometimes students may think that with career preparation, it isn't until their junior or senior year that they have to start thinking about that or preparing. The earlier you start, the more likely it is that you can land those internship positions and be fully prepared by the time that you graduate. So those career conversations are very essential. If you're looking to go into graduate school and want to navigate what different programs are based on your career goals, what best program is suited for you, you can click the graduate school option, job and internship search if you want to talk to them about that. Again, resume or cover letter reviews, and that mock interview portion as well. So for that job and internship search, again, you'll be able to click on the days of the week, and it'll pop up what time or what availability to note. One thing to note, you'll see here who your career specialist is the appointment medium. Currently, our career specialists are in a hybrid mode. We are in the office 3 days out of the week, and 2 of them we are virtual. So you get to choose out of your comfort whether you want to meet with the career specialist in person or if you prefer to meet with them via Zoom. Additionally, what can we help you with? If you know, so for example, I clicked a job and internship search. I want to meet with Liz in person, and I'm looking for internship opportunities for mechanical engineers. So if you want to be specific, so then that way the career specialist can better prepare for your appointment, leaving a detailed comment here will be helpful. So once you click that request button, it'll bring you to the next screen and show you that you have made your appointment, the appointment medium, when it is. If you want to share any communication with your career specialist, you can actually add any comments here to let you know. Additionally, you have an inbox here where you'll be able to receive messages from career specialists regarding your specific appointment. If there are any updates, if you have something happen and you need to reschedule, you can communicate with them as well. But earlier, I also mentioned that employers message students if they see your profile, they see any specific opportunities or events that they may be hosting that are in relation to your interests. They can message you as well and encourage you to attend some of their events or to apply to specific positions. Additionally, under the Career Center section, you'll be able to see any upcoming fairs that we are going to be hosting. We will have 2 career and internship fairs, one in person and one virtually, and then our upcoming graduate school fair. You'll be able to see all of our upcoming events and then how you can contact us too. This resources tab has been built out by our career specialists to include any specific guidelines, rubrics that may be helpful for you as well, such as our cover letter guide, resume and action verbs, our resume guide. You can see our YouTube channel that has some pre-recorded webinars and trainings that you can see as well. And then here is our link to the standout process and any career exploration or assessments. Any tools that we find valuable to you will be shared there. Michelle, is there anything that I may have missed or didn't touch about for student employment services specifically?
No, I think you covered it really well. I think there are some questions, and when we get to that question answering portion, that there may be regarding, I have seen one regarding access, why we're only showing KL 122 as being an option for intake right now. We do understand that some students may be accepting jobs. The semester starts next week. Instruction starts the following week after that. Most students will be on campus during that time. Many of our jobs aren't expected to start until after campus operations start up again. Currently, the remote intake process, while there is an option for doing a remote intake process, it's very cumbersome. It does require going to see someone who can validate those documents, original documents, and then going through an electronic system to attest. We do find that it's quite cumbersome and very confusing for the users, no matter how comprehensive the instructions are. And then there's some responsibilities that those that parties within that process have to take that people aren't necessarily comfortable with. And so while we can offer the remote onboarding process as an exceptional exception right now, we do prefer and drive the majority of our intake processes to be in person. So I hope that answers the questions there that were specific to the student employment intake process.
Thank you, Michelle. And then I believe that's the general presentation, so we can move forward with the Q&A portion.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much for that great presentation and fabulous demo. Such great info going out to our audience today. Let's go ahead and dive into our questions. Is there any reason for me not to be hearing back from multiple jobs that I've applied for?
So I'll go ahead and take that, Elizabeth, if you like. So what we do find is our employers during the summer will start posting jobs in preparation for gear up for fall, or for what they're going to need as we go into fall. Many employers aren't quite ready to hire yet, or they may be reviewing large job pools. We do have a lot of students that apply to many positions. And so sometimes it's just a matter of the hiring managers getting through those pools in order to start contacting people for scheduling, or to let them know that they've not been selected, or whatever the job status update is. So especially right now before school starts, we do find that is unfortunately a common occurrence, students applying for multiple jobs and not quite hearing back on any of them yet. But I would say give it some time, because again, as the semester starts, we will see a gear up of hiring.
And then additionally, for those external employers that are looking to hire, most of them do have a point of contact. So if you are still waiting, you can always give them a courteous email to ask them, I'm a professional email that says, I'm interested in this position. I applied. I wanted to know if it is possible to know a status update on my application. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes they do reply and sometimes they do not, but it does show that you are highly interested in that opportunity. Another tip is, if you feel like you haven't gotten any responses as well, come meet with our career specialist. Maybe there's something that's missing in your resume or your cover letter that can help you stand out. That's what we're here for. We're here to best advise and prepare you for those opportunities as well.
Yeah, and I thank you, Elizabeth. And I will add to that within all on-campus postings, the contact person for the department is within it, their email address and their names within the body of the job description posting. So absolutely reaching out in a professional manner to ask about the status is another option.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. All right, moving on. Do campus jobs allow for flexibility based on a student's class schedule?
So we do strongly encourage supervisors to be flexible to student needs. We understand that student education is our first priority, which is why we do restrict the amount of hours that students can work on campus. And so we usually advise supervisors, not usually, but we do advise supervisors to be flexible with schedules, especially during those peak times when students are getting close to finals, may need extra study time, to be flexible with those schedules. And I think we're pretty successful with students and supervisors coming to mutual understandings about what those needs are. Oftentimes supervisors will ask for schedules to be provided so that they can make sure that they're best accommodating the students' needs, in addition to accommodating the work needs that they have for those students within their department.
Great. And moving on to the next question, can you find jobs that are related to a specific major, both either on campus or off campus?
You definitely can. So through that filter, you can look at the different majors or different backgrounds, the different job roles. I know that the one example that I gave may not have been there, but you can have that there. That's why it's always the third step when we talked about downloading the app, signing in, is personalize it. Make sure that you include, we as a career center will have your email address, major, uploaded. That's how you're able to utilize your platform or your credentials to log in. But definitely, if you have a specific major, and then on the home site, that's one thing actually that I didn't share, you'll be able to see a jobs recommendation. So on the main Handshake site, when you log in, it'll show jobs for you. So this is based on, so what it's really like to work there. It has a couple of information here. new jobs recommended for you. So based on some of your interests, jobs you've saved, popular by your major. So if you're mechanical engineering major in this case, it'll show you some of the popular jobs that people are hiring for. If you're looking through that, so there is an algorithm built out. So based on like your activity and your interests, it'll recommend jobs. And then it'll also remind you of some of the jobs that are currently expiring soon that you can take a look at.
Great. Now, can we talk a little bit about the federal work study positions? We have some questions coming in related to those. And so this particular one is saying so that there's specific federal work study jobs on Handshake, but not all jobs offered on campus are federal work study.
Yeah, so all positions on campus are not federal work study. They're all of our positions that are posted are available to all, whether you're a federal work study recipient or not. So just a little bit of how federal work study works. Those are not dollars that are specifically given to a student at any time. They're allotted to them as an award, but ultimately what that does is it provides the hiring manager a portion of that student's earnings paid for directly through the federal work study award. And so that allows departments to expand opportunities for on-campus employment to students. Some employers are only able to employ students when they have federal work study awards because of budgetary constraints or other reasons. And so they will post specifically that job to say, we are only hiring federal work study recipients. So if you are someone that does not have federal work study, you would not apply to that job because they would not be able to hire you because their needs require federal work study support. However, again, if you're a federal work study recipient and the job doesn't have any indication that it's only federal work study, you can apply either way. You're still eligible to get a position whether you have an award extended to you or not. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and then I'm going to just add to that because I saw a lot of questions coming in and it's a hot topic in our office. Work study funds cannot be used to pay the fee payment deadline that's due on August 17th. So we did a webinar earlier this week on your bill and the recording should be up soon. But if you have questions about your bill, please contact the Students First Center so that we can help you prepare for the 8/17 fee payment deadline. But the reason that you can't use the work study funds is because as Michelle was saying, that's not money that's given directly to the student. It's money that's given to the department to help employ a student. And so your work study award will come to you in the form of your paycheck, which if you don't have a job yet, you're not collecting paychecks. So in theory, if you got a job this fall, you could start saving your paychecks to help pay for your spring bill that will be due. But we find that a lot of students need those paychecks to help cover personal expenses throughout the semester. If you have more questions, contact us. We are happy to go over your bill with you.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for that. And Lisa, just to hop back on that topic that you mentioned about the billing webinar, it's actually already up as the instant replay. So we got that one up there pretty quickly. And thanks so much, Amy, for dropping that link over into our chat. So anyone who missed that or just wants to watch it again, feel free to hop on over there to our YouTube channel. And if you do go to the admitted website, which is the link that's in the chat, just scroll down to the August area at the bottom of that page and it'll push you over to YouTube. And you'll also be able to see other things that you may have missed over the summer. All right, so moving on to the next question. Let's see. What documents do we need to take with us for our jobs?
So just to clarify a little bit, when we say our jobs, I'm going to respond to this from I've received a job and have been told to go do my intake paperwork with Student Employment Services. So the federal government requires that all employees be authorized to work in the United States, and that information is governed through USCIS, which is the Customs and Immigration Services, United States Customs and Immigration Services, and it's done via Form I-9. There's a specific list of documents that when the notification goes to the student that they've been hired or that they need to schedule an intake appointment, it'll provide a link that tells you what those acceptable documents are. You can provide a document from, there's 3 lists, A, B, and C on the form. You can submit something from list A or B and C, and those specific documents are provided on that link for what you need to bring in. Now, reminding that those documents must be original. They cannot be photocopies. Mom and dad cannot send a photocopy with someone. You cannot send us a screenshot. We cannot be on a Zoom call where they say, here's the document. Those must be original documents. So if you're going to provide, let's say a passport is a list A document, you're going to provide a passport. You must bring your passport. It requires a physical inspection. So we must see that it's an original unexpired passport in order to use that for that validation purpose. Very common list B and C documents are student IDs or driver's license or state issue IDs. And then list C, the most commonly used documents are social security card or unrestricted social security card. So it doesn't say requires some other authorization on it, and an original birth certificate. That is not an list. We are not telling that you need to bring up documents in each of those columns. That link will provide students. You can also see it, I believe, on our website. We have that information, and USCIS also has that information. But there's a slightly expanded list from that that are acceptable documents in each of those areas.
Fantastic. All right. So we do also have a few questions coming in from students who are saying that they don't have a lot of work experience, maybe none at all, but that they do understand that they need to be submitting cover letters and resumes for their job applications. So what would you recommend that they list? Is it adequate just to list whatever skills they may have experienced through high school and just through life in general if they don't have an official job to talk about?
Definitely. Even if you were in a club or organization while you were in high school, you learned a lot of skills and may have coordinated some events, led meetings, anything of that sort. Even if you participated in sports, I know that it takes a lot of time management to balance sports and high school and getting all of those responsibilities taken care of. So yes, you can add any specific skills, volunteer experience. If you have volunteered in your community, those are experiences that you can include there. If you're still hesitant, you're like, I don't know how it looks or the specific format, come and meet with our specialists and we're here to help you and provide you with that guidance. I know one thing and what hiring managers know is coming right out of high school, we understand that you will have those specific experiences. And as you start your journey at UC Merced, can start to incorporate any additional volunteer clubs and orgs or volunteer experience if you have not had a position yet.
Very good. And then a real quick one. What is the maximum number of hours that a student can work?
So great question. So during the academic year, a student can work a total of 18 hours for their on-campus employment positions. Now, I have noted in the chat that there are some questions about on-campus versus off-campus. So when we talk about on-campus jobs, these are jobs that are our employers are on campus: dining, housing, recreation, transportation, rec and athletics, those types of departments. You are limited to all jobs that you work for UC Merced, and actually combined institutionally across the system to 18 hours per week during the academic year. If you also then go take a job at Costco or Save Mart or McDonald's or at some other agency outside of UC Merced, compensated by, employed by outside of UC Merced, you may work any amount of hours that you like. It is only when you are working for an employer paid by and employed by UC Merced that restricted to the 8 hours per week. I want to just add one little thing, one little comment back to the questions about funds and finances. There are some really great benefits to working on campus. These on-campus jobs, not only if you're living on campus, can you work on campus, and there's a benefit there not having to go off campus for another job, but during the academic year, when you are working for the employer, UC Merced, and you also attend school, you are exempt from requirement to pay certain federal taxes, which is the Social Security tax. So the difference between working at an on-campus job and working for, let's say, Costco, is that Costco has to take that Social Security tax and pay it to the government. The University of California does not have to do that. So where you may make the same hourly wage and work the same hours at Costco and at UC Merced, there are, you may take home more by working at UC Merced than you would at Costco because of the that exemption to having to pay into that tax while you are employed by UC Merced. So I know that there's questions about, again, off campus, on campus, and I wanted to put that out there as something that can help boost what your net after tax take home pay is.
Such a good tip. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. A couple more minutes here while we wrap up. If someone's not quite 18 years old yet, do they need to get a renewed work permit?
They do not. If you have graduated from high school, you do not need a work permit if you are not yet 18.
Fantastic. Then there was another question here. Is there a fee to take the Strengths Finder assessment?
Everything is free. So you are able to take that. We have the codes and logins for that there. And then once you take the assessment, make sure that you create that appointment so we can go over your results with you.
Fantastic. And what do undocumented students need to be able to work or obtain an internship?
From an employment perspective, undocumented students would have to have an employment authorization document. It's commonly called an EAD card. I'm not 100% sure. I believe that our undocumented students office can help assist with obtaining, going through the process of obtaining that. But that would be something that's needed in order to.
Oh, sorry, Michelle.
No, it's fine.
The Career Center actually will also be hosting, we host what is called our Undocu Scholars Academy, where we talk about career navigation, job search, graduate school if you're looking to pursue that, work on you to help develop your cover letter, resume, career assessments, networking. So it's more of like a career preparation workshop specifically for students that are undocumented. One of the experiences as well, if you're looking for an internship opportunity and identify as undocumented, both with work authorization or without it, you can actually, I believe that it's beginning your second year, qualify for what it's called our student success internship programs, which are UC Merced specific opportunities where you get to work with a specific department on campus to complete a project for them. And at the end of that academic year, you actually get to present all of the different findings for your specific program. So again, that's called our student success internship program. And I will actually find a link to the Undocu Scholars Academy. So if you're interested in participating, you can register. The application, I believe, closes on September 1st.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And as we are getting ready to ask our last question, just to remind our audience, go ahead and look over into the chat box. We have been sending over quite a few links today, so you can go ahead and start clicking on those, get those links opened up so you can take a look at those once we wrap up here in just a moment. And let's see, for one more question here, can we clarify for the audience, where do they need to upload all of their job documents? So anything that we ask of them, where would those be going? Is there separate places for those, or do they all go to the same place at the same time?
They all stay within your Handshake profile. So on the right-hand side, on the top where your picture or your initials will be, you click on that and then select My Documents. That's where you can start uploading your resume, your cover letter. You can have various iterations of a resume if you're looking for specific types of job opportunities, and then your specific cover letters for that as well. For you, and just so you know, the naming convention that you provide for your resume will be the ones that they see. So make sure that you have your own unique naming convention so you understand and remember that these are for these type of positions that I'm applying for, but that they still remain professional and unique as well for you to understand, and the employer doesn't see anything different from like Lizzie's resume or anything of that sort.
Wonderful. One more quick question. Is there a place online that our students can find examples of good resumes and good cover letter examples?
Yes, I am actually going to link you all to our Career Center website where it has resume and cover letter guide as well. And under the resources tab on Handshake, you will be able to see these specific guidelines as well.
Wonderful. So once again, a quick reminder, hop over to that chat box, start clicking away on some of those links before we wrap up. And speaking of wrapping up, I think that will wrap up our Q&A for today, but I'd like to give all of our great on-screen presenters here and speakers during our Q&A time, if you each would like to drop into any little last words of advice or wisdom for our audience today, feel free to do that.
Thank you all again for coming, for expressing interest. Again, it is never too early to start your career journey and learning about your specific interests. And we are here to help and assist you. We are actually, and I don't think I located in the presentation, we are located in the Collegian Library, room 184. We look forward to seeing you all this fall.
Thank you so much, Liz. Michelle or Lisa, would either of you like to mention anything here at the end?
Yeah, there was one post in the chat about emails that you're getting offering you a job for all this money. That is spam. UC Merced is, the employers are not going to proactively reach out to you and offer you a job without applying. So do not reply to those. We sent you an email like super early in the summer about phishing attempts at UC Merced, and there's information on our IT website. You might want to search through your spam folder, or I'm sorry, through your inbox and reread that email, and go on our IT website for additional resources.
Yeah, and I will add to, as you look at your Handshake account, there may be messages or emails that are coming out from CCPA or from Student Employment Services via that platform. I know we've sent out 2 emails about those phishing attempts. There have been a lot of them this year. We've seen that. We've tried to communicate when we do identify something like that, but definitely make sure that you're checking your messages on there. I believe it shows up in your little inbox. And a lot of those communications are really important. They may give you information about upcoming hiring events, changes, locations. We are currently doing Student Employment Services doing intake sessions outside of appointments in the pavilion, room 105. We will be there every day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. starting on Monday through Friday, starting on the 15th. We had to cancel today's appointments because they shut off the power in the pavilion, but we will be there through the first couple of weeks of the semester. So please feel free to go there to do your intake paperwork if you'd like to also. But look out for those messages and communications, because we do leverage Handshake a lot to send out updates and notices.
Fantastic. Great tips. Thank you so much, Lizbeth and Michelle and Lisa, for hopping on screen with us today. Great demo, great presentation, and a fantastic audience with tons of wonderful questions. So once again, this has been a great honor to be your moderator today as we spoke about searching for employment opportunities and your next steps in your career development. Please take a look at some of those links that we sent over, and also look out for this instant replay of this event in just a couple of days on that admitted website that we also dropped for you over in the chat box. My name is Ricky Hill. It's been so much fun, and we will see you again very soon. Have a great day, everyone.